Yo, what is up, Cowboys Nation? It's your boy Jay Tuck. Real Cowboys fans, stand up, man. Hopefully, everyone's having a safe, blessed, happy new year. Hopefully, everyone had a good holiday. I did, man. Didn't do much on New Year's Eve. Went to go see the Stranger Things finale in theater. Salute to all my Stranger Things fans out there, man. But we are geared up and excited for a brand new 2026. This is year 6 for me as a content creator, man. I'm getting old. I'm one of the OGs in the game right now, man, for year 6. So we got a lot of fun things in store, man. I'm excited. I feel refreshed, man. I learned a lot in 2025, honestly, from a content standpoint, from a growth standpoint. You know, you go through things, ups and downs, you learn about people. Not everybody's really in your corner. Not every opportunity is a good opportunity. You know, not everybody's your friend in this content space, man. But I feel like I'm in a situation now where it's time for me to snap my fingers, man. I'm a huge Marvel fan. Thanos is one of my favorite characters, man. And Thanos had that Infinity Gauntlet. But when he finally snapped his fingers and turned everyone to dust, that's when everyone got a little worried, right? So I feel like for the past 5 years, man, I've done a lot of incredible things. I have all the gauntlets. I have all the stones in my gauntlet. It's time to snap my fingers, man. And it's not just about me. I am going to create opportunities for up and coming content creators, deserving content creators, man. I see my dog Lou in the building. Lou is one of those people, man. If you're not following Lou Takes right now, whether you're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Follow my dog Lou Takes. He's 1000% got my sponsorship. He's up next. Lou is my retirement plan, man. When I came across Lou, I said, you know what, Tuck, you probably got about 1 to 2 more years with this content stuff, and you're in a good space, man. Another one's in the building. My dog Henny, man. I love Henny because he brings a new creativity to sports and football analytics, but it's not unseasoned. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people want to talk EPA and DVOA and analytics, and it's very stat nerdy-ish. You know what I'm saying? Not my dog Henny, man. My dog Henny will hit you with stats and facts, but it's fun, engaging, and it one that keeps you in tune, man. So salute to Henny, Landlord, all the up-and-coming content creators, some of the OG content creators. I am working hard to build something for us, man, finally, because a lot of us deserve opportunities, and I'm tired of us getting skipped over, screwed over, and say, you know what? If I had to Kobe Bryant this thing and just drop 80 for my team to win in this space, then just pass me the ball and watch me ball, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. I saw somebody special. Sin City, my dog, man. Sin City, man. Sin City's been rocking with me since the beginning, man. So Sin City, bro, I want to offer you an invite, right? As family, as a friend. I will be in Vegas this weekend. It's my birthday. You know what I'm saying? My old ass, is my birthday. I will be out in Vegas this weekend. Friday night, I have a big party planned. I am going to be at Marquee Nightclub. I have bottle service. I have a whole section for 12 people, and it's just me and my wife showing up, man. So Sin City, hit me, bro, if you're available. I would love for you to pull up, you know what I'm saying, party with me and Paulie D at Marquee. Bottles. I'm not going to be able to drink all those bottles by myself. I mean, I can buy it, you know what I'm saying? So Sin City, hit me, my dog. I appreciate you for all your support, man. Every time I go live, Sin City's there, man. Sin City's there, bro. So I want to extend the invite. If you ain't got nothing going on Friday night, hit me, bro. Pop up, and we gonna put on a party. You know what I'm saying? I'm going out. I'm going all out. I'm going all out, man. So hopefully everyone's having a good one. Salute to everybody on TikTok. I see Bang Bang Niners game. They ain't got nothing to do with me. This is Cowboys show, but you're welcome to stay. All right, we're gonna talk about a lot of things, man. We're gonna talk about some draft. We're gonna recap the season and get it up out of there. So y'all know the vibes, man. Hit the notification bell, hit the share button. Let everybody know that we are live right now. But before we start, I want to address something, man. You know, I wasn't going to speak on it, but, you know, Rome, DMV, those are my brothers. And like, yo, Tuck, you should, right? I was like, nah, I'm kind of cool on it. But it seems to be this thing when it comes to organization versus players, right? And it's the weirdest thing ever. It makes zero sense because I know me in particular. I know all of you guys watching this right now on TikTok, wherever you at, you want to win a championship. You want to win football games. And I'm just perplexed on how the hell do you win football games without the players. You know what I'm saying? So to my dog Angry. Angry's another one of those ones who is definitely deserving this Cowboy space. I saw you out there, man, with my dog Freshman. Y'all was linked up out there, you know what I'm saying? But I'm perplexed on how can you be pro-organization and anti-players, right? So it seems to be the stigma now when it comes to me in particular, like that Tuck only cares about the players, right? Tuck is friends with Micah. That's why he's just so mad and bitter and mad at the Cowboys. I was mad at the Cowboys before the Micah trade happened, right? Or Tuck is just friends with Trayvon Diggs, and that's why he's mad Trayvon's gone. Now, that's a narrative that people are trying to use to weaponize against me, but it doesn't work, right? You guys know Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, J Tuck is a season ticket holder. So I am pro-organization because I go, a lot of money goes towards the organization. Two, if I was just great friends with Micah Parsons, right? And I was just great friends with Trayvon Diggs, I must have to admit, they some bad friends, bro. They're some bad friends because y'all see where I sit, you know what I'm saying? It's nice, but it's not where I could be sitting if I was a part of the inner circle with Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't be having to pay. I shouldn't be having to, you know what I'm saying? If I was truly friends with these players, right? So for those who criticize and act like I'm just friends with the players and that's why I'm defending the players, that is not the case. You need to rephrase your verbiage, right? Let me correct it, right? Little caveat. I'm not friends with players. Nah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, previous players, but Dez doesn't play no more, right? Shoot to Dez, right? I'm respected by players. And that's where we separate, right? That's where I separate from some others. Yeah, they want to kind of weaponize that. I'm not friends with players, but I am respected. Yeah, bro. Like, bro, I should, if Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs was my friend, I should have an open Kia AT&T Stadium. You know what I'm saying? I should be in the box. I should get one of those little passes where I can go downstairs. You know what I'm saying? I should be doing all that. I should be in that little suite in the end zone, sitting in the leather. That's some bad. I need better friends if that's the case, right? If I still got to buy tickets to go to games, right? Yeah, it doesn't make sense, right? But I'm respected by players. And how did I become respected by players? By putting in the work and being fair, right? Being fair. For a lot of the players that do reach out to me, I still have current players that are still on the roster that talk to me a whole lot more than Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs did. So, I mean, I guess you can call that what it is, or it is. But they respect me because they say, you know what, Tuck? You're loud. You know what I'm saying? They say, Tuck, you loud. You be causing a lot of stir. You know what I'm saying? But you're always fair. You call it black and white, right? I don't never see you bash players all the time, right? When they do good, I say they do good. When they do bad, I say they do bad. It's really that simple. And I remember a situation, for those of you who've been following here quite some time, y'all know still to this day, I hated the Kelvin Joseph pick. I hated that. You know what I'm saying? I hated that Kelvin Joseph pick. Still to this day, I will never in a million years pass on Asante Samuel for Kelvin Joseph. Me and Kelvin Joseph, we had a back and forth on Twitter in the DMs, and it got on some gully stuff like, hey, see me when you see me, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be one of those people that project that type of energy, but if it comes my way, it just is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been outside before the Lord worked in my life and worked in my spirit, right? So we had this back and forth. But I remember the final season of Kelvin Joseph out there in Oxnard at camp. And Kelvin Joseph was having a really good camp before we got rid of him. So I went to Kelvin Joseph, man to man, shook his hand and said, yo, bro, this is J Tuck. I know we had our back and forth, right? It is what it is, but you're doing a good job at camp, bro. Keep up the good work. I wish you the best. He said, for real, bro. It's like, yeah, man, you balling out here. I see what you now Harris are doing. You're playing a little bit slot, man. Kind of fits what you did at Kentucky. He was like, bet, that's love. And we shook hands and we moved on separate ways, right? I am pro Dallas Cowboys, but also everybody. There's no separation where I'm just Team Jerry and against the players. I'm not just team players and against Jerry and Stephen Jones, right? When Shoddy benched CD and Pickens, what did I say online? Nah, Shoddy's in the right for this one. All right. Shoddy's in the right for this one. I stood by Shoddy on that decision because I knew what happened in Vegas. Now, I know the full story of what happened in Vegas. That's why I had to jump on it. But out of respect to the players, I didn't even put that out. Right. So here is how I might separate myself. Right. As a Dallas Cowboys content creator / fan, because I do blur the lines, right? I am a fanned up, you know what I'm saying? But I also do it as from an analysis, sports media aspect. I do not want my players fighting back with 105 through the fan, right? I do not want my players defending themselves versus media and narratives, right? I don't want my players to have to focus on that. Y'all remember, for y'all following my YouTube, when I had this story about Jerry Jones was going to fire Mike McCarthy way back in that 3rd season, and I had him on tape saying that? I did not put that out, even though TMZ was going to pay me some good money for that tape. Why? Because I did not want that to jade and shadow our Cowboys season, right? So I don't want our players to focus on that. So if there's situations where, hey, man, don't you worry about that. I'll handle this. Let me handle the radio station, right? I want you to put your best foot forward and win football games. And they didn't do it, right? But I don't want them. So I hear these conversations, and Wanye Thomas put out the post, about, going through the mental situation. Salute to Wanye, man, incredible guy. Wanye's a good person to be around. But he mentioned about dealing with the neck injury and the migraines and different things like that. Also the loss of Marshawn Nealon. And being criticized that he's soft because he's sitting out with migraines. All right. Now, imagine, Cowboys Nation, you're Trayvon Diggs, love him or hate him. You lose a brother in Marshawn Nealon, but here are people spreading villainous rumors about you that it was your fault he's no longer here. Right? Because y'all heard those rumors, right? There was people of not content creators, there was content creators, but there was people of stature in our community spreading the rumor that Marshawn Nealon's situation was due to some actions of Trayvon Diggs. How would that make y'all feel? You see what I'm saying? So for me personally, I don't want Trey fighting that. Let me handle that, right? I can go back and forth with the media. Y'all seen it numerous times, right? Let me handle that. But it's not that I'm just pro Trayvon or pro Micah or pro Dak. I am pro what is right versus what is wrong. And it's not just a Dallas Cowboys thing. It's just who I am at the core. There's been situations in politics, not to get political, but there are some things that I do agree with when it comes to Donald Trump. Oh, well, Tuck's a sellout. He's married to a white woman. He's MAGA. No. There are some things that I do agree with when it comes to Trump, but there's also some things that I cannot stand when it comes to Donald Trump, right? I take formed decisions and I form my own opinion. See, I have the ability, unlike some people, to stand independently for what I believe in. I do not let the tide turn me because it's popular. I've never been that way. As people on my Facebook watching right now, Tuck never folded. I never gone with the crowd. I gone by what is my gut, what is my spirit, what does my intellect tell me, what does the story tell me, where's the facts, what am I seeing? All right. So when people get mad that I just wasn't mad at Trayvon and saying good riddance and la, then I become attacked because they wanted to quote me as being a Trayvon Diggs fan or friend, right? Nah. There were some things that Shoddy did in the decision. I stand with Shoddy for moving on. I was making videos to move on earlier, but I do also know what was going on with Trayvon behind the scenes. and it was headed for divorce. So both sides from the right, we have moved on. We have saved money, right? Trayvon is gone. He's now in Green Bay. Sorry, I am not like some of you who's going to watch every snap from the Green Bay Packers, hoping that Trayvon Diggs fails to say, aha, see, I told you. We're divorced. I'm looking at corners in the draft. We'll talk about here soon. He's in Green Bay. What they are doing has nothing to do with me. So I wanted to get this out there because people were trying to spin this narrative, because if Tuck isn't with the crowd, he is against us. And I will give you guys this heads up, Cowboys Nation. I will never, ever, 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 ever in my life blindly follow the crowd. I will not do that, and I've raised my children to not do that. We will take a look at the facts, and I will form my own decision. All right? But don't ever, ever, ever fix your mouth to say Jay Tuck hates the Cowboys, and he is not a Cowboys fan, because when I'm out there at AT&T for the seats that I paid for, I don't see none of them niggas. None of them. None of them. None of them. You know what I'm saying? None of them. Raise your hand if you're on my YouTube. You can say, no, I pulled up. I seen Tuck on the Jumbotron. You see me? Now, I pulled up the Tuck's tailgate at Lot 10. He was right there on the corner across the gas station. He was hella cool, and he didn't charge me a dime, and he had drinks on deck, food on deck. You know what I'm saying? I'm outside with the people. How dare some of you media members fix your lips to act like I'm not a real Cowboys fan just because I had all the facts and I said, hey, this is right, this is wrong. I'm glad the divorce is gone, but I'm not going to hate watch. I'm never going to hate watch and want players to fail just so I can be right on social media. So I just wanted to address that really quickly, man. But I feel like some people are trying to play with me. And we all know, Cowboys Nation, 6 years in, some of y'all need to learn your lesson and just leave me alone. But thinking about this season, man, so I gotta come home and meet you next year, Tuck. Well, only home game I might be at is San Francisco. I'm on the road, baby, next year. But I'm going to Green Bay. I gotta get out there to Cali versus the Rams, and I gotta get there to Seattle, right? And so those are the kind of games I'm going to be at next year, right? But I'll probably be at camp, even though I'm not a Cowboys fan. When I go to those games, when I go to Seattle, when I travel, that comes out of my pocket. You know what I'm saying? That comes out of that's out of my kid's mouth. That comes out of my home. That comes out of my checking account. Ask the others how they get there. They travel on company dime. They get to expense their food, expense their hotel. Nah, I expense it myself. When I go to the Senior Bowl here in a few weeks, out of my dime, right? Self-made. When I go to the Super Bowl 2 days after for a whole week, that's out of my dime. Self-made. And then when I turn around, y'all see me at the combine, self-made. When y'all turn around and see me at the draft, self-made. Camp, self-made. Don't y'all ever fix y'all lips and say I'm not a real Cowboys fan just because I don't want to blindly agree with y'all. And I gave you opportunity for a lot of you guys to come on my show and educate the fan base. Don't just say it. Educate, right? Educate. Trayvon Diggs played 6 games. 3 of them wasn't that bad. So how can you say he's been the problem? We are now looking for a new defensive coordinator, and I think we all agree our entire defense played bad this year due to Matt Eberflus. But for some reason, people had an axe to grind versus one player, and I personally just don't like it. If you're going to show me Trayvon Diggs blown assignments, I want to see Malik Hooker's blown assignments. I want to see Deron Bland's blown assignments. I want to see Jack Sanborn, who y'all gassed up, blown assignments. I want to see everybody's blown assignments. You know what I'm saying? Why am I in the wrong for saying, show me everybody's blown? Show me Osa's blown assignments. Show me Dante Fowler's blown assignments. Show me Overshown's blown assignments. Show me Jake Ferguson's fumbling. Show me the whole picture, baby, since we breaking down cover 2s all of a sudden. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. You know what I'm saying? That's all I ask. Show me the whole picture. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm asking, man. So just wanted to get that out, Cowboys Nation, because I saw these narratives floating around. And honestly, I don't want to be a part of that, right? I never wanted to be this shock jockish because it gets a bad stain. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here for football, the fan base, you guys, man, and just educating with facts, man. That's all I am. I'm not in the tear down player business. I don't hate these guys because they made it to a level that I never made it to. I want all of these guys to play out of their damn minds because why? I'm sick of losing, man. So appreciate y'all, man. Lou, come to court and defend your case. Let the defense rest. If me and Lou had a disagreement, yo, Lou, send the link, man. I can get on your show on Wednesday. We can connect both channels and talk about it. If me and Angry have a disagreement, hey, bro, shoot me a link, bro. I'll jump on. Shoot me the phone call. I'll jump on. We'll talk about it and educate the Cowboys Nation. I've done it 1,000 times. I've even done it with Eagles content creators. But for some reason, there's people in this Cowboy space that are like, I don't want to say Jehovah's Witness, but every time you say something, here they come. Oh, no. Have you heard about why the Dallas Cowboys should not draft a running back in the... Man, I'm not trying to hear that shit, bro. I ain't trying to hear none of that from you. Not from you, especially when we've already poked holes in your whole argument. You know what I'm saying? Why can't we as I'll say as men, because the women don't act like this, right? The women don't act like this. Jane Slater don't act like this. Aisha don't act like this. Nicole Hutchinson doesn't act like this. Christy doesn't act like this. You know, Ashley Baker doesn't act. The women don't act like this. We're supposed to be men, but all y'all want to do is tweet all damn day. And nobody has no ring lights and no cameras all of a sudden. That's crazy to me. If you have a disagreement as a content creator, stop with all the back and forth. Let's go on camera and let's educate the fan base. Done it 1,000 times. 1,000 times, man. 1,000 times. You know? 1,000 times. At this point, you should just who you're talking about. I would be all day because there's thousands of them and they're being created every day. It's not just one person. So it's not just at this one person. There is numerous. And this has been a history of people. You know what I'm saying? This has been a history of people. And I'm at the point, you know, you ever like go to work, you know what I'm saying? And you just get tired of seeing the same person. You know what I'm saying? Like you go to work every day. You might have been working for a company for 5 years, 6 years, and you get tired of the same Sally hating on you. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? Like I could blindly post a mock draft on Twitter right now. And without even looking, I know who's going to comment on it. Well, we can't, no, Tuck, you shouldn't do that. Right? I didn't say, hey, what is your feedback on my mock draft? I'm talking to the people who follow me for Draft Insight. I'm talking to the people who support me and love me since day one. I'm talking to my people. How about you go talk to your people? Let me at you for a change. How about that? How about that? All right. So I just want to get that out, man. So appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. Like I said, we're at the point, either you love me or you hate me. But like I said on my Instagram, don't tweet me, beat me. You want to stop J Tuck from being the draft guy? All right, well, you start building a resume where people want to follow you. But as of right now, it's Tuck season and classes in session. All right, season recap. Said this in my video earlier, right? Thank y'all for letting me get through that real quick. You know, they're going to clip that and be all mad, right? Whatever. Cool. You're mad every day. Season recap. There was a lot of bad, but I will say this. There was some good, Cowboys Nation. Not everything was bad, right? You know, me personally, when I pull up to work, I'm taking whoever's parking spot I want. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if this is the manager parking spot, whatever, because my Cowboys beat the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? So I'm parking right here up front. right in front of the curve at the station. You know what I'm saying? I park wherever I want. You know what I'm saying? Because we packed up Pat. You know? So we've shown some things that should get you excited, right? Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones finally probably have seen, you know what? Maybe this trading for impact players thing, maybe it's not as bad as I thought. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's not as bad as I thought. I mean, that George Pickens trade kind of worked out. That Quentin Williams trade kind of worked out. Maybe this isn't a bad thing, right? We saw some moves. Vontae Williams, great find in free agency, right? Jadeveon Clowney pretty much gave us a bright spot when it came to our defense. A great find in free agency. And they let him walk out the door, luckily, right? But they brought him back. Jadeveon Clowney was a good find in free agency, right? Getting some guys that might cost you a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? No more of the Peyton Turners and all that. Like, yeah. So you got to pay what you weigh. So hopefully, Cowboys Nation, this is something that will be ingrained into our front office moving forward. Stay that way, Jerry and Stephen Jones. Don't get comfortable, right? Like I said in my video, back when I used to play basketball, our cheerleaders would say, be aggressive, be aggressive. That's like the only cheer. My cheers. Salute to my West High cheerleaders out there. You know what I'm saying? I know some of y'all probably watching on Facebook. That was like the only cheer they know. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Stephen and Jerry Jones, that's your cheer. If I got to follow Stephen and Jerry Jones with a boombox blasting that around Frisco, then I'm willing to sacrifice and do that. Be aggressive. Don't sit back. Don't say, hey, we got Pickens. We got Quentin Williams. Now we're good. No. If the opportunity presents itself, you take that opportunity because this window is closing. And we'll talk about that here in a second. But you got to stay. Keep your foot to the gas. Things are closing up in the NFC East. I know we pulled Dak Prescott and our starters in that second half, but let's not act like Jackson Dart still wasn't kicking our ass. You know what I'm saying? Don't act like, all right, you know what I'm saying? We was just, nah, Shotty, you wanted to win that game. You wanted to be able to say, hey, we were 8-1, and technically we was over 500, and we had to win it. Nah, Shotty, you wanted to win that game. And the New York Giants was cooking you with the third string roster. All right? So they're starting to emerge. We'll see who their new head coach is, right? The Commanders are making some adjustments, but, you know, with Jaden Daniels back, they'll probably respond. Philly is Philly. So the NFC East, we're not able just to get away with Dak Prescott runs the East, right? We're past that stage now, right? We can't just get away with Dak. Dak runs the East. Nah, you're going to have to keep your pedal to the floor because these teams are getting better and the race is getting tighter, right? So keep the pedal to the floor. But there were some good things. I felt like one of the bright spots, and this will probably make Lou smile from eye to ear to ear. That Tyler Booker shit hit, y'all. Hey, bro. Hey, for all my Cowboys don't miss it in the first round when it comes to offensive line. That Tyler Booker shit, that shit hit. And it hit hard. That Tyler Booker pick, it cracked over the fence. Tyler Booker played out of his mind as a rookie. Tyler Booker played out of his mind as a rookie. That pick hit. To imagine you replace I would say arguably the greatest, right? Yeah, hey, man, hey, Lou and Boss, standing ovation. Go walk y'all laps. Now, Ted McMillan, Ted's playing out of his mind too out there in Carolina, but this was no consolation prize. For Tyler Booker to replace all heaven Zach Martin, there was not one game I sat back and feel like, damn, bro, we had Zach. Man, if we just had Zach, bro, Damn. Man, I wish Zach would come. I didn't even notice Zach Martin was gone. We replaced Zach Martin with a rookie, and I didn't even know Zach Martin was gone. That Tyler Booker pick cracked, right? So Stephen Jones or Jerry Jones or, you know what I'm saying, Charlotte Jones or Will McClay, whoever, I think that was more of a shoddy pick. But hey, walk your lap, standing ovation for that pick. Is that rookie? Hey man, hey bro. Hey, say I'm finna send Zach a food basket. Man, he did us a service by walking away at the right time. You know what I'm saying? Bro, JV, not one time did I say, damn, if we had Zach Martin. I almost forgot he was, you know what I'm saying? Tyler Booker, that pick cracked. If we're being honest, and they won't give it to him, right, because he's offensive lineman, he should be offensive rookie of the year. You know what I'm saying? He should really be offensive rookie. They ain't going to give it to him, right, because offensive lineman, and offensive linemen don't get their name in the headlines. But he really should be offensive rookie of the year. That boy stepped in and was just like instant impact since the moment he got there. That pick cracked, right? So you had those positive in Tyler Booker, all right? The George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb thing, it was what we thought it was going to be. Phenomenal, right? It was phenomenal. Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, you know, we'll talk about it all offseason about keeping it, maintaining it. But, yeah, Lou, go ahead and take your lap, dog. Go ahead and take your lap, Lou. You know what I'm saying? That pick crack, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know it was team weapons versus team trenches. Now, eventually, both of us got our wish. But man, oh man, that pick cracked. That pick cracked with Tyler Booker. CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, phenomenal. We'll talk about it all offseason about maintaining it. All right. Javonte Williams, good find, right? And I know we'll talk about it this offseason because I see people already asking about Jeremiah Love and this and that. And Tucker, did you see Jaden Blue? All right, I get. Listen, Blue Mania, go ahead, bro, because I can't, you know what I'm saying? I already know what's coming on. But I really wonder how our run game would have looked with Javonte and Miles Sanders. I think our run game would have been a lot better off with Javonte and Miles. You know what I'm saying? So we'll sit back and wait and see how it all unfolds. Should they get a veteran running back? Blue Mania is coming. It was one quarter. Now, selfishly, I know I'm on TikTok, so I can't say it too loud, but Blue made me a lot of money. Blue made me a lot of money on Sunday. So you're my boy, Blue. I might be Blue Mania now because I cashed out on that pick. You know what I'm saying? His over was only 51 yards. Anytime touchdown was +3. Oh, my bad, TikTok. TikTok, don't ban me. All right. TikTok earmuffs. All right. But I mean, with Jaden Blue. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? Hey, we cashing out with Jaden Blue. So, all right. So we'll see. But that was only one half of football, y'all. But, you know, it's one of those things where it was smart to do it when it comes to Jaden Blue because now it leaves a Dragon Ball Z type cliffhanger as we go into the offseason. You know what I'm saying? Wait till the next episode of Dragon Ball Z when it comes to Jaden Blue and the little cloud flies and you know what I'm saying? So now we got to deal with this all offseason of that 1 quarter and a half of Jaden Blue. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still drafting a running back if available. So yeah. Wide receivers look good. Ryan Flo was finding the groove. All right. So I like that. Dak Prescott is Dak Prescott. Now, I will say this about the quarterback position because I was on TikTok and people were like, we should draft a quarterback. And I was like, yeah, bro, I agree. And see, that's when all the Dak haters like, see, Tuck is with us. He says like we should draft a quarterback and replace Dak. Oh, no. Whoa. I ain't saying we should draft a quarterback to replace Dak. But I will say this, Cowboys Nation, and some content creators won't say this. I was wrong. Right? Jay Tuck always thinks he's right. No, I was wrong. I thought Joe Milton will be a lot further ahead of the curve than what he is. I thought Joe Milton was a lot further along than what he is. Nah, not going to be able to do it. Not going to be able to do it. All right. So I know we traded for him, but Joe Milton has a lot of work to do. Now, I do like his moxie. Like, Joe Milton's like a YN at the quarterback. Bro, stop holding down the pass button so hard so your controller cracks, bro. Has anyone taught Joe Milton a touch pass? For all my Madden players out there, for all my NCAA college players out, sometimes you got to just tap it in. I'm saying he's got to double tap A, bro. Just double tap B. You know what I'm saying? Put a little air. Bro, he is smashing his control. He is when people get so amped up when they play in video games, you know what I'm saying? They hold the button down so hard, it pops in. That's how hard Joe Milton is throwing the ball, bro. Ease up, fella. You know what I'm saying? And he is behind the curve. So for me personally, I would not be opposed if the Dallas, Judas, bro. Y'all see it. Y'all been there before. You know what I'm saying? You've been playing the game. You know what I'm saying? You thought you had a wide open touchdown. You smashed that throw button so damn hard the button got stuck and you got to pop it out. That's Joe Milton every throw. No touch pass. No Amarion. No doom, 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 touch. From my old school. Y'all remember that song, man, back in 106 in Park. Doom, 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 touch. Doom, 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 touch. You know what I'm saying? He has no touch. No touch, bro. It is 99.999 throwing power or nothing. I don't care if it's a screen, a swing pass, you know what I'm saying, even a quarterback toss, it's going to be a bullet. Yeah, right. So I would consider the Cowboys maybe even drafting a seasoned quarterback or bringing in a veteran. But we'll talk about this offseason because I don't want to get y'all too alarmed, but there's a cadence when it comes to the Cowboys that we should be cautious of. So I want an insurance policy at the quarterback position, and if Joe Milton has to be a Cooper Rush's type Band-Aid for 5 to 6 games, ain't going to be able to do it. Ain't going to be able to do it with Bazooka Joe. You know what I'm saying? Bro, he was just launching stuff, dog. He was just launching, bro. I'm like, God, what are we doing? Nah, you're not going to be able to do it. Defensive side of the ball. I'm telling you, bro, I don't care if it's a toss, a screen, Joe Milton's going to give it everything he has when it comes to putting his arm power in that thing, dog. He don't give it all he has. He don't double tap nothing, bro. He don't double tap nothing. It's holding down R1, toss pass. You know what I'm saying? On college football 26, you can do a few different options, right? He's always doing the hard, strong option. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to just tap B. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to just Joe Milton is just too much, bro. Not going to work with me because of Bazookas Joe. Defense. We are in a unique situation, Cowboys Nation. Hit that subscribe. If you're on TikTok, hit that button right there, right? Instagram, hit that button right there, right? We ain't got to watch no defensive tackles when it comes to the draft. We're Gucci. We ain't got, how many years I've been looking at defensive tackle, like even going back to when college football started, I was tweeting about Dominic Orange and out of Iowa State and just trying to get a big physical one tech, right? We're good at defensive tackle. What a time to be alive. I think we have more than enough at defensive tackle. All right. Edges, we will talk about. It really depends on Javen Clowney, but I'm still looking for disruptive edge. We'll talk about that as we get to the draft portion of the show. Linebackers, if your name, Overshown is cool. I want to give Maris a mulligan. I'm giving Maris a mulligan. Maris a mulligan. Like JV said, everyone smashed that like button, man. Appreciate the likes, man. Hit the like button. That's how Cowboys Nation gets the signal that Jay Tuck is live, man. They've been messing with me on YouTube lately, y'all. Y'all see my numbers that fall off a cliff. They did not like when I started talking about Shador and all sorts of stuff on this channel. So I started a new channel because it broke my channel. You know what I'm saying? Like, YouTube ain't like that. They're like, bro, you talk about Cowboys and Cowboys only, nothing else. I try to talk about Arch Manning and Shador and this and that. They said ain't gonna be none of that. All right, so broke the algorithm. Algorithm's a horrible worker. You know what I'm saying? Horrible manager. So make sure y'all smash that like button. So anytime y'all see me post a video, hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. That's how you show my manager in the algorithm Cowboys fans still like to watch Jay Tuck. You know what I'm saying? Still like to watch Jay Tuck, right? Overshown, good. I want to give Maris a mulligan. Shamar James, y'all know how I feel about him, so he's good. Outside of that, it is what it is. It is what it is. But Tuck, we just traded for Zach Wilson. I feel you. It is what it is. Hey, Tuck, man, I mean, if we can give Kenneth Murray, hey, man, it is what it is. But Tuck, in the preseason, we heard that Jack Sanborn was Luke Kuechly mixed with Sean. It is what it is. Hey, I don't care. I might make a mock draft where I might take 2 linebackers in the first round. It is what it is when it comes to me. Maris, I still see it. Coach it up. DeMar, he's more of a safety hybrid, so I can see it with Shamar, right? And Overshown's Overshown. Everybody else, bro, I mean, I appreciate it. Appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Overshown's time is up. Always hurt when you need a guy that's going to be available. A baller. Well, I mean, he's healthy now, so we'll see how he does, right? But if that continues, then yeah, that'll be a conversation piece. Maybe a conversation piece. Now, let's talk about corners specifically, all right? You pay DaRon Bland, another foot injury. I'm concerned. DaRon Bland, right? But what can you do? You toss in the bag. Siobhan Revel, we'll see, right? We'll see. But I really don't think there was a lot to say, okay, he's good. We're good at the cornerback position, right? Now, injury, rookie, a mixture of everything, right? But there was games, Detroit, they said, who was that? Going at him, bro. It's a corner wearing 34. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Salute to Siobhan Revel. I really liked him. But he's a corner wearing number 34. If you're playing video games and you see somebody, a corner wearing 34, you're going to hold down that A button and throw right at him because you know he is a low roster man. You know that's roster man 34. You know what I'm saying? That's roster man 34. He probably got about 86 speed. You know what I'm saying? Probably got about 67 awareness. You know what I'm saying? You ever set your rosters up bad? You know what I'm saying? And something happens on Madden and all of a sudden some random corner. You know what I'm saying? I remember I was playing one time, bro. I was playing with my homeboy B. Sean, and he played with the Chiefs, man. I had like Anthony Brown manned up on Tyreek Hill. I was like, bro, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? What's up, my dog Sam in the building? What's going on, man? You had this random roster man out there on corner. That's how they were picking on Siobhan Revel, right? So Revel needs a new number first. Kalen Carson, you need to swap numbers, right? But outside of who can you be confident at the cornerback position, Cowboys Nation? The only cornerback that really looked solid, I will say, was Ready, Set, Go and Reddy Stewart. Reddy Stewart played well inside, right? But is it enough for me to say we're good? Or is it because we were just so bad, he just really stood out because he was like pretty much the only one that's actually doing something, right? So, me personally, depending on who our DC is, and I said TikTok, Matt Eberflus still ain't gone. Crazy, right? If only Matt Eberflus would have requested to spend time with his family on Christmas Day in DC, he would have been gone. You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel comfortable, y'all, about any of our corners. Not a nan, none of them. Not a nan, none of them. Not a nan one. I can say, okay, we got this one, right? And agency only played 19 games in 3 years. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Right? So, cornerback, I think is more than a draft thing. I would completely overhaul the complete room. Deron Blaine is going to be your centerpiece because you paid him, right? But nobody should be safe in that cornerback room. It should be get it how you live, right? For me personally, and that's free agency and also the draft. Right? Now, I know that they had stats that when targeted, Trayvon Diggs gave up 158% pass rating completion, right? Because you chat GBT some shit. I get it, right? But chat GBT the other corners for me, please. Chat GBT the other corners for me, please, and you'll come to a very puzzling finding that all of our corners played bad. Now, could it all be Matt Eberflus? Right? Deron Bland was manned up versus Maserati Marv, and that was just getting chopped on grass. Right? So for me personally, corners need to revamp. Get over the safeties. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, JV. Yeah, JV. Cheers. Cheers. All right. I want to feel different, right? I want it to feel different. And it's hard when you watch across the league and you see some of these other safeties and the plays that they're making, and the odds on the ball, and it's just like, I'm trying to see what that feels like. You know what I'm saying? What did they say the Friday afternoon? I'm trying to see what that feels like. I ain't never had that happen to me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never had that happen to me. I'm trying to see what that be like. A safety is on the rooftop, they can go. Right? And then we've seen them across the league. And we'll talk about one here in a second. But man, oh man, we need it. We need a different mentality in Dallas defensively. Right? I want a defense for players that look like they ain't washed their practice pads. You know what I'm saying? For all my ex-football players, whether they played in high school, in college, or whatever, right? We knew there were some players on our team, they ain't washed their pads in a while. You know what I'm saying? They ain't washed their pads in a minute. You know what I'm saying? They ain't washed their practice pants. That's how grimy they was. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say no names because they probably still watching. Right. I had a homeboy in college, man. He ain't watched his practice pants in a few days. You know what I'm saying? Smelling like green. You know what I'm saying? His practice pants, he smell like green. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Out there on the practice. But man, oh man, he was a dog. This is my dog Dante. He was a dog. You know what I'm saying? Practice pad smell like. But man, playing a safety position, especially in the box, he was different. He was different, right? So I just feel like if here's my wish for the Dallas Cowboys, y'all, as we gear up for this upcoming season. I want the Cowboys to be ugly. Right. And I know it's hard with the corporate structure, and a lot of people get on me about the corporate stuff. But I just want the Cowboys for like 3 years. Give me 3 years, Jerry, of it just being ugly. Just not a nice team, not a lot of nice guys, not a lot of marketability out there. Just ugly, grimy, dirty, hard hitting, relentless football. I just feel like we just always are just, you're pretty, you're cute, you're a pretty boy, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I compare the Cowboys, and someone mentioned this to me on Twitter, right? We're a lot like Oregon. Now, Oregon, you know what I'm saying? They're making some moves right now. We're kind of like Oregon, right? You see the glitz and glamour, you see the glow, you see everything when it comes to Oregon football, the uniforms, and I love the duck, and I love how they drive out, and I love, everything out there in Eugene is bright and colorful, and you see, but it's just like when Oregon gets up to something gritty, you see the difference, And I'm sitting back as we're eliminated, right? Player 151 has been eliminated, right? I'm watching teams around the league, and it just feels different. Even if you watched that game last night with Baltimore and the Steelers, like, that was just a dirty, gritty, nasty football game. Even if you watch what's going on in Seattle versus the 49ers, right? It just feels different when you watch those teams versus when you watch the Cowboys. It's more the show. And Jay the Recruiter says the star in Frisco ruined the team too fancy. And that is one of my biggest gripes, not because of the star, not because of AT&T Stadium, right? But I always question, how can two teams in the 90s, for some of my younger TikTokers right there, right? Teams of the 90s, San Francisco, Dallas Cowboys, the Cowboys have won more recently than San Francisco, but some reason San Francisco still kept their DNA, right? And we just lost it. That's my biggest concern. And it really never hit me until I was out there in San Francisco at that playoff game. And just the environment was different. The tailgating was different. Like them coming out the tunnel with the boom box. I mean, even though they lost, them all black San Francisco 49er jerseys, them mugs, you know what I'm saying? Them all blacks is hard. Like, hey, them all blacks. It's different. So San Francisco was kind of able to keep their right? When we're kind of like, like if I played football, right, if I was in the NFL, and you say, you know what? We got to go on the road and we got to go play Dallas. I'm like, oh, bet, man. That's going to be lit. You know what I'm saying? They're going, hey, man, that's what's up, bro. It's indoor too. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have a bunch of little IG models walking around. Hell yeah, bro. Our visiting locker room at AT&T is probably nicer than what we have here, right? So I'm not worried about going to Dallas and playing the Dallas Cowboys. I sat back and watched the Chicago Bears, even though they battle versus Detroit. That's gonna be yeah, they bro, them opposing teams coming to Dallas and be living good. Catered food, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, hey, it's not hostile, it's not grimy, it's not dirty, it's not football, right? I would just like to see 3 years. I'm just a dirty, stink, violent, non-pretty, Dallas Cowboys team. Now, will I ever get that? No, because you know what I'm saying, you need some sponsorship dollars. It's like, I really want that, right? So I think that's ultimately how the culture will change. Now, defensive coordinators, like I said, Matt Eberflus still ain't fired. Jerry Jones is going to probably be 1 to 2 weeks. Don't make this critical mistake. I'm drinking my gallon of water a day, which you guys should do it. You know what I'm saying? Get money, drink water. The easiest way is to pour in these big cups. See my old Cowboys cup. You know what I'm saying? My old commemorative cup. You know what I'm saying? You got Dak, got Coop. This was 2019 cup. And Zeke, right? My old 7-Eleven cup, man. I went to 7-Eleven when I was in Dallas, and I just grabbed like 30 of these cups. And my wife's like, get rid of all those Cowboys cups. No, these are my Cowboys cups. So down here in the man cave, I got a bunch of 2019 cups. Visit locker room gonna look like a high school. You know what I'm saying? Hey, visit like I'm not sure if y'all ever been. The visiting locker room is nice in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Eberflus got to go, right? And here's the critical mistake that they could be possibly making, right? That we don't get mad at me, y'all, for saying this. Make the same mistake we did last year, meaning let all your hot coaches interview, and then we decide 3 weeks later, all right, now we want to move on from Mike McCarthy. Now we're scrambling. That's how he ended up with Mike Zimmer. Now, Zimmer did work out, but remember, Dan Quinn went and interviewed with Seattle and Washington and all sorts of stuff, right? Then he came back. He was at the East-West Shrine Bowl, and he said, I'm a dip. I'm going to Washington, right? Even though I ain't got nothing there, I'm going to go to Washington, right? Went to Washington. We said, okay, cool. We'll just make Joe Witt the defensive coordinator. He said, actually, I'm going to go with Dan too. So don't interview me. I'm gonna slide over here, right? Then we were scrambling. Then Rex Ryan's old dentured ass keeps wanting to throw his hat into it. No, Rex. No. Stop asking. Right? What did Nick Saban say? We're not going to, so quit asking. Right? Rex Ryan, J Tuck. Stop asking, bro. No, never. All right, bro. Nah, bro. Angry. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Do not put that evil on me. I'll keep Matt Eberflus. I'll keep Matt Eberflus over to Rex Ryan. Don't you? No. I don't care that him and Shotty and I back in New York and all that. I told Shotty yesterday about that Pete Carroll shit, and you see what happened to Pete. Pete got packed up out there in Vegas. All right? Pete got packed up out there in Vegas. Stop trying to be like Pete. Shotty, do you not dare say, Rex Ryan, me and him, what we did in New York. Absolutely not. If you get old veneered ass Rex Ryan, we going to just be a draft channel. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a draft channel. College fans only for CFO Sports. I ain't doing no Rex Ryan. Nope. Just keep Matt. I'll fix Matt. Real question. Can Shotty start interviewing before Flus is let go? I think so. Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, you can interview. You just can't interview. Yeah, you can interview now, right? Because remember, right? Remember how we were gearing up for the playoffs and everybody was interviewing Kellen and Dan Quinn. So a lot of people say that, Dan Quinn sabotaged the Green Bay game. So we can interview whoever now, I believe. Request the interview. So we think we're good to go. We just can't do it in the season. How you feel about FSU's possibly getting Lagway? FSU got so many problems, bro. Quarterback ain't gonna fix it. That's a whole other topic for a whole other video. Yeah, bro. Yeah, Ryan's too white, bro. Get them. No, nah. Ain't gonna be able to do it. Ain't gonna be able to do it. No Rex Ryan. Ain't gonna be able to do it. So who are some options? Hey, man, Black Monday shopping. Raheem Morris just got let go. Raheem Morris just got let go in ATL. Coached under Dan Quinn. Won a Super Bowl with Sean McVay. And the thing about Raheem Morris, he's not just a defensive coach. He coaches on both sides of the ball, right? So he's been a wide receiver coach, DB coach, defensive coordinator. Forget a cup of coffee. You bring him in with intent, all right? No, I don't want Rex Ryan anywhere around the Dallas Cowboys, all right? So Raheem Morris, right, can be in that Dan Quinn-esque mode, right? Let go, but not every coach makes a good head coach, right? It's a lot of things you got to do as a head coach, a lot of problems, a lot of fires to put out, right? Can't just focus on the main thing being the main thing, right? As a defensive coordinator, Raheem Morris can just come in, focus on the Dallas Cowboys defense, and bring a staff with them. You know, coached in Washington, he's been a head coach before, so he has some head coaching experience. I do not see the Dallas Cowboys defense quitting on Raheem Morris. Say what you want. Our defense quit on Matt Eberflus. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. Our defense quit on him. Because even under Mike Zimmer last year, our defense still fought till the season was over. And that was with no Dak. All right. They quit on Eberflus. They're not going to say it loudly, right? But they folded. They quit. I mean, we saw the plays yesterday. Tracy was running amok all over us. No tackling. We slipping and blipping. You know what I'm saying? I know when you already got Cancun on top of the mind. You know what I'm saying? That was the situation. Let me move my little TikTok puzzle piece real quick. Salute to TikTok, man. Follow me on TikTok. Hit that button, man. We're rocking on TikTok, right? I got to remember, I'm on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. I got to watch my mouth because of TikTok. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep it rated G, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Got to keep it rated G on TikTok. So I ain't going through no more bans and new accounts and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? TikTok, you know what I'm saying? Tuck love the kids, all right? Yeah, Easy Beans ejected yesterday, said, he was ready to go. I was ready to go. I took a nap. Once Dak came out, I saw Dak is out. I just wanted to watch yesterday just to make sure there was no major injuries. Once Dak get out, I say, you know what? I can take a nap. Take a nap. I slept like half to the third. You know what I'm saying? Nothing too crazy. A little cat nap. But once I saw Dak go out, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? I can take a little nap. You know, preseason game in December. Preseason game. But Raheem Morris, okay? I see people mentioning Jim Schwartz, right? I wouldn't be opposed to Jim Schwartz. But here is the dilemma. Said Tucky took a nap while some of us froze our asses off. Hey, bro. I know y'all in New York. Bro, but hey, man, not for no preseason game. No, sir. No, sir. Not me. No, I was in the comfort of my own home, hoodied up under my Cowboys blanket. You know what I'm saying? Wife cooked a nice little lunch. You know what I'm saying? So once I saw Dak check out the game, I said, all right, bro, you can relax. You can relax, Tuck. You can relax. Dak is out. He's safe. You know what I'm saying? CD was out. I was safe. Taking a little nap. All right. Jim Schwartz. All right. So like a lot of things under Jim Schwartz, but here's the problem that we're going to run into, Cowboys Nation. A lot of these defensive coordinators, they're going to get head coaching opportunities. Right? So they're going to get head coaching looks first. All right? So we'll have to see how that shapes out, right? Like a Brian Flores probably gets a head coaching opportunity, right? Or look. Jim Schwartz, probably a head coaching look. All right? I know people are talking about, Vic Fangio. Like those types of guys are going to get head coaching looks. So you're either going to have to outbid them, right? Because you can't pull them over if they're assisting on the contract, right? You have to outbid. You have to pay, right? You have to pay maybe to get a head coaching caliber defensive coordinator to say, you know what, I'm going to pass on this head coaching opportunity and come over to Dallas. All right. So you're going to think, Jerry, going to open them wallets. Where them dollars at, Jerry? Where them dollars at? If you want a Brian Flores, right? Like I said in other videos, got to come with your game correct. All right. So for me personally, there could be some opportunity. I think Raheem Morris is the best fit, qualified, head coaching experience, Super Bowl defensive coordinator, right? Can coach both sides of the ball, strong leader. The defense will rally under him, and he's out of a job right now. That fits your criteria, Jerry. You don't have to pay too much. Raheem Morris is a perfect fit. But if there is a guy that's flying under the radar for me, and I'm looking for a Clayton Adams of the defense, there's a guy named Jeff Howard, right? And I'll probably make a full out video on him, right? But I've been being lazy. I got a lot of stuff going on right now. But Jeff Howard, he is the DB coach currently in Seattle, all right? Jeff Howard was the inside linebacker coach for the Chargers. He coached y'all boy Kenneth Murray, but he coached Eric Kendricks, right? And when he was in the Chargers, right, he took their missed tackle percentage from top 21 to almost second in the league, right? So he showed some improvement at the linebacker position. Also, he coached in Cleveland, right? He's a DB coach in Cleveland. He did have Jadeveon Clowney there, right? But he had Denzel Ward, Grant Del Pitt, like some of those guys. And the Cleveland Browns, this was like the Baker Mayfield playoff year, I believe, right? And their defense was humming, all right? And then also when it comes to Jeff Howard, he was a defensive assistant under Mike Zimmer in Minnesota. So it's a guy who's kind of been around the league, right? He's a DB coach currently that if you could swipe him away from Seattle as a DC and give him that opportunity, right? So Jeff Howard is a name that I really have circled. I've been digging into him, doing interviews, just being lazy, haven't made the full video. But he's a name that I'm interested in because he's coached DBs, also linebackers. He's coached under Mike Zimmer, so he can show some of those nuances and back-end things. And you can steal him away, taking him from a DB coach to a DC, right? And that's if you're looking for a diamond in the rough, right? Clayton Adams type of find, right? But I think with how bad the Cowboys defense is, I think they're going to want to go get a name, right? I don't see them unless Shoddy really has a guy, right? I think as bad as the Cowboys defense was, Jerry's going to make a move for a name. And that's probably why you've been hearing the Mike Florio stuff about Brian Flores. I know Shoddy was just his eyes. Y'all remember when it was the NFL 100 dropped in that year when Dak was on the sideline talking to Dalton Schultz about Kyle Pitts? He was like, Kyle Pitts, number 8. He's just, oh my God, like, and Dalton Schultz was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Remember when Dak was talking about Kyle Pitts like that to Dalton Schultz, which is completely disrespectful, right? That's how Brian Schottenheimer was talking about Brian Flores in them interviews. He's like, man, I love what Brian be doing, man. He be doing that thing, man. He be showing and dropping, man. He be doing that double A game. He's one of the, man, that Brian Flores, dog, man, if I had something like that now, if I had me something like that Brian Flores, dog, shoot, we be making a playoff run for real. But I ain't, Scotty's eyes was lighting up talking about Brian Flores. So if Shotty can go upstairs and convince Jerry that, hey, that is what I need, that is what I want, there's a chance, right? So I'm not ruling Brian Flores out, but You want to get your game correct, right? You have to get your game correct, right, to get your Brian Flores. But be that as it may, Matt Eberflus has to go, bro. Like, what are we holding on for? What are we holding on for? It's time for him to, right? Appreciate you, what you did. All right, cool stories. You already had your exit interview. They spoke to Quentin Williams. The team. Deuces, Chris Brown. Right, deuces. When does Mac Burke's contract end? I haven't looked into it. Raiders might hire him, Brian Flores as head coach. Yeah, he's gonna be hot. You know what I'm saying? So now you don't have to, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to write a blank check for a Brian Flores to prevent him from being a head coach right now. All right. Now, let's get on to what we do. You know what I'm saying? Without further ado, time for big wizard time when it comes to the draft. All right. So we're going to dive extensively into the draft this year. Film sessions dropping. I'm feeling cute. I'll drop one tomorrow for y'all. I'll drop one for the culture tomorrow. Mock draft shows. So if you're on TikTok, follow me, CFO Sports. All the draft content will be there. Instagram, you know the vibes. YouTube, right? Y'all already know what's up, right? So we'll drop film sessions starting tomorrow. Live mock draft shows. I have some prospects lined up to come on the channel as well. I will be out in Mobile. Never been to Alabama a day in my life. Never thought I would once ever want to go to Alabama, but I will be at the Senior Bowl at the end of the year, or not end of the year, end of the month, doing coverage, getting interviews. I'm going to the Senior Bowl for one reason though. Hi, Mr. Bailey. Right? Hi, Mr. Bailey. I want to see David Bailey up close and personal. Right? Up close and personal. I'm going to give a live look, right? And Romello Heights will be out there too, I believe. Right? I want to see those Texas Tech guys up close and personal. All right? Now, I will say this. When it comes to this draft class, not super sexy. All right? There's not super sexy. If I had to say, last year's class, of course, was sexier than this year's class. You had the Travis Hunters, you had the Abdul Carters, right? You had the Tets, you had the Genties, Mason Graham, Shador. So you had some major names. This year's draft it has depth. All right. So you can still get quality guys. Now we don't have a third or a second and third, right? We don't have a second and third as things currently stand. All right. So there's going to be that. Cliff says, come on to Mobile. I'll be there. So I get there that Tuesday, right? What is that? I'll be there the 27th through 30th. And I fly back home, and then I should be going to the Super Bowl, but it depends on who's playing. If it's like if the Rams go, I would go. But if it's like San Francisco versus Jacksonville, like, I'm not going to go to the Super Bowl. I might. I don't know. It depends on how I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? But like a lot of that stuff, like people just like to party and do all that stuff. I'm kind of past that. All right. So it's like, but back to the draft. It has depth. All right. So I'll say this, sitting at 12, we're in a good spot, right? We're at a good spot. Now, I know what everyone's going to be hoping for, and Caleb Downs, right? And do I think there's a chance he could fall to 12? It's minimal, right? If you want Caleb Downs at 12, then you need all of those draft analysts with those colorful, sparkling charts that they post online to talk about positional value, right? You need some help. You're gonna need some help, Cowboys. I'm gonna give y'all the formula to get Caleb Downs. All right, give me a lot of work, right? You're gonna need them to talk up positional value and that he's just a safety and just a safety. You don't draft safeties that high. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, think about what Brian Branch went, right? You don't like, we need to like push that up. Also, hope he bombs the combine like a low 4.5, 4.6, maybe. You might have a chance. Remember, that wouldn't even work, bro. That wouldn't even work either. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would need pounds, you know what I'm saying, of that, and that still wouldn't work. But remember, NFL teams do stupid stuff, y'all. NFL teams do stupid stuff. I remember clearly being out there in Dallas for that NFL draft, and I watched team after team after team after team, though we had injuries, after team pass on Derwin James. All right? Didn't understand. I remember being at the draft and watching Brian Branch just fly to the second round. Right? So, yes. Also, bang. I also remember Vegas watching Kyle Hamilton slide because of his 40 time. So, will it happen with Caleb Downs? So I was asked this question the other day, and I can't answer it, y'all, because you guys know how much. I think the film is still up. I loved Kyle Hamilton. Loved him at Notre Dame. Like, I remember that Florida State game. He wrecked everything. All right. And I love Caleb Downs. I mean, you guys know how much I love his brother if y'all follow me. You know what I'm saying? So I've been watching Caleb Downs since Alabama, all the way up to Ohio State, Natty, and everything, right? I can't pick or choose, but they both are those types of players, right? I hear some people like, oh, what if he's Tyler Nubin, right? Who went to the Giants out of Minnesota? I don't think he's that, right? I like Tyler Nubin out of Minnesota, but Caleb Downs is completely different. You know what I'm saying? He is the most seasoned. I don't want to say can't miss, but he is the one draft prospect in this year's class. You can close your eyes, select him, and be good. You'll be good. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I really don't see a lot of flaws in this kid's game, y'all. I'll be honest with you. Now, I'm going to do a film session on him. You know what I'm saying? But just because I've been waiting to do him and Anthony Hill since damn near high school. So I'm just doing it for doing it. But they're probably like not there, but I would say Caleb Downs is probably the one prospect because you can't miss. Right. Spoiler alert. My mock draft, top board, 50. He's number one. So I know typically when it comes to the draft board, I like to do this big reveal where I slowly start at 50 and I go to 40, and I go from 40 to 30 and 30 to 20, and then I get that to 10, and then we kind of do it one by one. I do this massive reveal of who's my number one prospect in this year's class. It's just Caleb Downs, bro. I ain't gonna hold y'all like that this year. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hold y'all. He's my number one prospect. All right. But if you're looking outside of safety, right? Me personally, linebacker and disruptive edge, we should have tons of value available at 12. And currently, 20/21, right? With the Green Bay pick. There's a lot of value to get edge and linebacker, right? So, as I mentioned in the earlier video today, right? Ruben Bain's going to be an interesting prospect. All right. He is going to be combine dependent, how he measures, right? So if he comes out and they say he has short arms, they might say, hey, he's not an edge at the NFL level. He's more of a 3-tech, right? But he doesn't have the size for a 3-tech, so he might be a tweener. So you know how NFL scouts are, and for someone who's been to the NFL Scouting Academy, they have to live or die by those measurements. So if his arm length comes back, there's an opportunity for Ruben Bain, right? Because me personally, up and down, right, from last year to this year, right? But I don't think he's leaps and above. Now, maybe this is my no bias kicking in. I don't think he's leaps and above Jared Verse coming into the draft, right? And Jared Verse slid, so it could be a possibility for Ruben Bain, right? Then you have David Bailey out of Texas Tech, depending on how Senior Bowl lines up and all the, the draft process. But the knock on him, Big 12, wasn't really the same player at Stanford that he was at Tech. Doesn't have much film versus high quality tackles, even though he was disruptive in the bowl game. But his first step is godly, right? But the pass rush nuance is a little bit lackluster. So was he just getting by at the Big 12 off the skill, or is it something really there, right? So David Bailey could be a guy, right? Don't really want to put this out there, but y'all know my job is to get y'all prepared for everything. Kendrick Falk out of Auburn, edge rusher, right? We'll talk about him. Hot topic button, Sonny Styles. I could, at this point, unless he goes out there and smokes it on some crazy stuff, I would 97% guarantee, Cowboys Nation, that Sonny Styles will be there at 12. Unless he does something godly, like, 4-3 or some crazy stuff like he would have to be something godly at the combine, right? Reason why: off-ball linebackers, meaning off the line of scrimmage, for those of you who don't know, right? Middle linebackers, same thing kind of happened with Micah, which they were wrong about that. Typically, they slide, right? We saw Jahad Campbell, how he slid all the way to Philly, right? Typically, they slide. You'll have Arville Reese probably go first, even though I do have some hesitation or concerns. I don't know if they're concerns, right? But some drawbacks, right? Every prospect comes with drawbacks, right? With Arville Reese, I feel like Arville Reese will be first off the board. There will be opportunity for Sonny Styles to slide right there to 12. There also could be a possibility he does slide to 20 or 21. Good question. Do I see Sonny as a better than Kason Swartz? We all know that Schwarzenegger coming out last year out of UCLA. Depends on what you're looking for, right? And this is the question I continue to ask Cowboys Nation, all right? So I'm gonna ask y'all, right? TikTok, everybody, right? Yeah, Ruben Bain from Miami. You're looking for your built for tough, as I call it, brute, stout, downhill, tackling machine, linebacker, middle linebacker, right? I personally don't think that is Sonny. I don't, right? I don't think that's him, right? I don't think that's going to be him. He's going to be more, because he was a converted safety, right? He's a basketball player, safety convert, very green, hasn't been playing the linebacker position for a while, right? So he's really just playing the game off of athleticism. I have the film session on the channel, so you guys can go watch it, right? But the way that he looked under Jim Knowles and versus Matt Patricia, right? He's a player whose upside is through the roof. But yeah, I don't think that he's going to be your instant green dot middle linebacker. next year, right? So then you have the question, do we already have that in-house, right? It really depends. It depends on a lot, right? It also depends on who our defensive coordinator is, right? It depends on those variation, those different factors, right? But, Sonny Styles, amazing player. I mean, you can close your eyes, y'all, and pick whoever. It's an upgrade over what we currently have. So as long as we get Sonny Styles, I'm going to be, But in today's modern NFL, right, we really don't play, well, Eberflus did, right, but he should be gone, right? You typically don't play a lot of 4-3 linebackers, right? Sometimes you're playing 2 linebackers and big nickel, right? You kind of have your wheel or your what they call like your star position, right? Be your safety. So you kind of have those different types of looks. But all going to be on who the coordinator is. But Sonny Styles is definitely one of those players. Other linebacker, we'll talk about C.J. Allen out of Georgia. He is kind of that brute downhill linebacker, but I see him sliding because as of right now, the athletic ability, we'll have to sit back and wait and see for the combine. All right. Anthony Hill Jr., I feel like he's going to slide into the second round. Possibly. But here's the thing that I like about Anthony Hill Jr. over the other linebackers, Arvell Reese included, right? He's an off-ball linebacker, meaning middle linebacker. He's played at the University of Texas, but he's also played on the line of scrimmage a lot as well. And we go back to his high school film when he was recruited to do, he played a lot of defensive end in high school. So he has those pass rushing nuances that if you need to put him off the edge and send him forward, right, he can definitely do so. All right. So he has that ability. The thing about Anthony Hill Jr., we'll get to the film, of course, right? He's so athletic, so disruptive. He just needs to slow down for me a little bit. Slow down. You know what I'm saying? Slow down. But he is a pure havoc causer, right? If you want interceptions, sacks, tackles for losses, just being around the ball, hitting stuff, blowing things up, just making plays, that is him. But there are going to be some plays where he's out of position, he's over pursuing, those different things, which comes with time, right? Jacob Rodriguez, right? Jacob Rodriguez is going to be a very interesting study, all right? He's going to be a player that I'm going to have to really take my time with, and I'm going to have to see him at the combine stacked against other linebackers. Yeah, exactly, Vinny. He's going to be like Overshown, right? So you're going to love him, but don't expect for him to be the, you know what I'm saying? He's going to just be out there just making stuff happen. It's pretty much a little bit of a bigger Overshown when it comes to Anthony Hill Jr., which 2 Overshowns, I ain't mad at that. Jacob Rodriguez will be a very interesting study. Love everything from the eyebrows and above, right? IQ, Key and D, diagnosis, leader, right? He plays the game like a mega mind, all right? The question when it comes to Jacob Rodriguez is the same thing that we're seeing with the Zach Wilsons and then Jack Sanborn and those types of players, right? Is how fluid is he going to be at the NFL level to keep up with the athleticism of the modern day NFL athlete, right? So is he going to be able to see it, diagnose, and being able to run and get there, right? I'm going to have to see it, right? So Jacob Rodriguez is going to be a player where I'm going to sit back and say, let me watch it, right? Let me watch it. Let me watch and study, right? So that's a player. I mean, day 3, guys, you guys know how I get down, right? Another player that I already love. I don't say love, right? It's early, but I like, right? This is my dog B Bird for the $5 super chat. Do you think the Joneses drag their feet so all the quality DCs get hired so they can hire the DC that they really want or bring Flus back? That's what I'm saying, B Bird. Don't do that risk, right? Don't run that risk. I just sitting back waiting until it's too late to apologize, right? I don't want the Cowboys to do that, but it sounds like that's what they're about to do, right? Because giving Eberflus 2 weeks he don't need no 2-week notice, right? We already know where this should be going. If we bring back Mac Eberflus, y'all, I don't know what to tell y'all. If we bring back Mac Eberflus, it's going to be a gut punch to our season before it even gets started. Before we get started, right? It's even if we bring back Mac Eberflus and re-sign George Pickens, it's going to be like, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. If we get Brian Flores, just spoke about that. You got to come with those dollars. Not draft a player that can help the Cowboys is Quay Walker and free agency. Yes, you have to combine it, Queso, right? Draft and free agency. Don't be a one-trick pony, right? Draft and free agency. Now, I will say this. I am calling the Raiders right now and see what's hitting for. With 3 first-round picks, 1 at 12, 1 at 21, 1 next year, and what will probably be one of the most loaded draft classes in a while, I am picking the phone up and calling the Raiders, seeing what's good with you. Jared, if you need me, I'll be in Vegas on Friday. I can stop by. I got some time before my party activities start. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm picking up the phone, baby, and asking the Raiders where they're hitting for. Just to see. You give me Donovan, Izaraku, Osa, Kenny Clark, Quentin Williams, Max Crosby, I'll go play linebacker. I'll play. I'll play. I got it. You know what I'm saying? I'll play. Me and Overshown should be enough. You know what I'm saying? All right. So I'm definitely calling the Raiders and see what it's hitting for. Just to see. 3 first-round picks, bro. You better do it before Howie does. So I'm going to call them. But another player that is sleeper. Where's my dog Keystone at, though? Sleeper. Kyle Lewis, linebacker, the Shark out of Pittsburgh. Love his film. He's going to have to measure well, but not a first-round pick. So I'm saying first-round pick, right? But I love this kid's film. I love this kid's film, right? High octane, high IQ, high motor, everywhere. Y'all know me, especially when it comes to linebacker. I got to see motor first. I don't care about none of that other stuff, right? If I don't see motor, right? And I have to see motor, and he's a guy that has motor. Now we'll talk about corner here in a second before we dip up out of here. Cornerback. There's some quality corners as well. Me personally, he's very talented. But taking another corner with a knee injury, y'all, it's a no for me. It's a no for me. It's a no for me. Yeah. The linebacker, Kyle Lewis, he's out of Pitt. So go check him out. We'll get to his film. We get to his film. I'm trying to stay quiet when it comes to draft stuff, man, because I know the Chargers be listening. I know Howie be listening. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to keep it on the low. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep things on the low. No. But a lot of people's asking about Jamar McCoy. Yeah, I can't. Not now. Not as bad as our cornerback room is right now. I can't take another corner with a knee injury for me personally. It's a no-go. All right. But I'm not sure, because I know people talk about Mansard Delane, right? Mansard Delane is going to be tricky. He's going to combine well, because if you go to his Virginia Tech versus his LSU, not really the same player. So sometimes you got to see, who are you really, right? And for all my draft wizards out there, we got new merch coming soon, right? It spoke to my team, new merch coming soon for all my draft wizards out there. But the difference is, in today's world with the transfer portal, you got to really dive in deep, right? Because a player might look outstanding at LSU, but might not be the same at Virginia Tech. And what could be the difference, right? You could be surrounded by more players. Y'all remember last year, right? I got killed for this, but I had hesitation. Y'all remember who I had hesitation with? I remember. Let's go back. Matthew Golden, right? There was so much hype around Matthew Golden, especially at the combine, Matthew Golden. And I was like, one, the tape doesn't match the 40 time. And also who he was at Houston didn't match who he was at Texas. So was it, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it really just didn't. Now, of course, you know, I was so desperate for a wide receiver, especially once Micah got gone and, you know, we lost Tech. I was like, bro, just get me somebody, right? But I just didn't with Matthew Golden because the film from Houston was not the same film for Texas. So could it be that you are that guy, or could it be that you were around this loaded offense? You had Isaiah Bond, who, you know what I'm saying, who could just burn everybody over the top, and then you had this running back room, and then you had what was the tight end from, what's his name, Hunter from last year for Texas, right? So you had all this talent on the Texas offense, and you were able to showcase that, right? So for that reason, when we're going through some of these prospects, y'all, it's going to take, if you're going to do it right, and y'all know I'm going to do it right, we're not going to just rush through the process to say, you know, people are trendy and be, oh, I love this player just because, right? We're going to go through it and just be like, okay, does it really match, right? So we'll sit back and see. So that's going to be my thing when it comes to Mansour Delane. I think I'm saying that right. But a player I really, really, really like, y'all, and he is going to be another guy. Once we get out the combine, they're going to say he's too small, arms are too short, right? He doesn't have the size. It's Avian Terrell out of Clemson. I feel like Avian Terrell will be my Asante Samuel, where he's probably not going to measure. They're probably going to say he's undersized. They're probably going to talk about, you know, when he played versus Chris Bell at the line of scrimmage. They're going to bring up some of those things, right? But he's just a ball player, bro. Y'all know I'm an ACC guy, right? He's just a ball player. He's the ball player. Y'all, the tricky part is where he's going to be when you don't have a second or third, right? But I feel like Avian Terrell is going to be a guy out of Clemson. Watch him, right? Watch him. We'll get to the film. All right, we'll get to the film. We'll talk about all these players so much. You'll be like, Tuck, I'm tired of talking about it. Talk about somebody else, right? We'll talk about Colton Hood. Just say, Tuck, contact Will McClay and tell you need a spot or outside advisor role. Hey, Will McClay, Dallas Cowboys, you're officially on the clock, right? You're officially on the clock, baby. You have 4 years to get Tuck on staff because they are building a brand new stadium that I could walk to for the Kansas City Chiefs. I could literally throw this cup at where they're going to build the new Chiefs stadium. So it'd be nice to have a job with the Kansas, right? Kansas City Chiefs. I just ride my bike up the street, go to work, scout a little bit, ride my bike back home. You're on the clock. You're on the clock. You know what I'm saying? You're on the clock officially. You know what I'm saying? Because if they say, you know what? Hey, we looking for some youngs. Well, I'm not young. I'll be old as shit by then. But they're looking for some scouts. I'm like, hey, man. Because right now, they're like probably about an hour away from me, depending on traffic, all the way out there in Missouri. They're going to be literally across the street from my house. And I'm also going to have a Buc-ee's. I can just pull over to the new Arrowhead and scout all y'all want, right? But we'll talk about all these corners, Colton Hood. Who's the most overhyped prospect you feel bus-worthy not to prey on downfall? In this year's class, a great question. I don't know who's really being hyped though, right? I don't think who's really being hyped. I think the most hype would probably be, yeah, I would probably say Mendoza. I'm not really a Mendoza guy. Now, of course, I haven't really scouted him heavily and watched like the all 22. I mean, of course, I watched pretty much the majority of his games, but I don't feel like that's the guy, right? That's the game changer, right? Who has the first pick? The Raiders have the first pick, right? That if Raiders get Mendoza, life's going to be different. I just don't. I'm not even sure if they're hyping him, right? Always they need a quarterback. Okay, so I will say this, right? I do kind of have my reservations about Arvell Reese because it's really going to be how you use this kid, right? Because right now, everyone's looking at the sack number, right? He has about 6.5 sacks or whatever. I think he finished with, right? Or maybe 7 if you round it up. 7 sacks is a save for conversation's sake. But you had 0 the year prior. So are you a sack guy or are you not a sack guy? Right? So if you try to use him off as this on ball, downhill pass rusher, right? Trying to create you a Micah Parsons, I'm not really sure that's who he is. I really think he's going to be your prototypical linebacker, off ball, on ball on occasions, right? Maybe a 3-4 scheme, but I'm not really sure that he's going to be your disruptive downhill chaos guy because he only demonstrated that at one season. And he didn't do that. If you didn't do that the natty year, all right, I do have some hesitation about that. Another guy, I mean, we're not in the well, we could be, right? Depending on what we do with George Pickens, right? Another guy who I love, but I don't know, right? Is Jordan Tyson. I feel like Jordan Tyson is going to be a massive gamble. You're either going to roll the dice and you're going to hit and you're going to have one of those ones, or, right, he had the injury this year, but played well out there in Arizona State. But again, right, transfer from Colorado, things wasn't necessarily the same out there in Colorado. So, I think Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver, is going to be one of those ones where it's like, I see it, I love it, right? But it has to, right? And there's only a few players thus far, right? It's only January 5th, so don't hold me to this. There's only a few players that Caleb Downs, for me, right? We're good. We're good to go. I know you guys don't want to have the conversation. I'm not putting this out there in the air. But my job is to get y'all prepared, Cowboys Nation, just in case there could be a consideration offensive tackle, right tackle specifically. Right tackle specifically. All right. So, oh man, so man, took over talking about draft offense. I did not say anything. I'm just getting y'all prepared for 2 first-round picks. Moving on from Terrence Steele, Francis, and then also you have Spencer Fano out of Utah. Spencer Fano is more your athletic footwork, right, guy. Right, technician. Lou will probably love his technique, right? Francis is more your mauler, run game, right? So don't shoot the messenger. Oops, can I say on TikTok? Sorry, TikTok earmuffs, right? Don't be mad at the messenger. But right tackle could be in play probably at 21 or possibly 12, right? I mean, it's going to be a situation. It's going to be a situation, but we have don't touch Guyton, let him develop. But the question is, bro, are they going to let him develop, right? There's talks about Tyler Smith playing left tackle, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Proctor lost a lot of money this past college season, y'all. Caden Proctor out of Alabama. He's one of those guys who's extremely he's a creative player, but with his size, his weight, hell, he could play him at running back. You know what I'm saying? But he lost a lot of money this year. Two players who lost a lot of money. Caden Proctor, tackle out of Bama, and also he still could be a sneaky value, and I really have to get to his film deeper to find out, because last year's class, he was damn near top 3 consideration before college football started, right? Harold Perkins Jr. out of LSU linebacker. He was literally the slam dunk, can't miss prospect, no brainer going into last year's college football season. And then now they're talking about 5th or 6th round, right? He's a guy that's lost a lot of money. One of my previous no's lost a lot of money, and Patrick Payton, right? Patrick Payton at Florida State, he was a slam dunk first rounder. You might get him day 3, 6th or 7th round. So there has been some kids that have moved around that has lost some money, but Caden Proctor has lost a lot of money. And I just think with his size, right? Because guard, it's going to be, where do you fit him, right? Where do you fit him? But we'll have to sit back and see how he all measures out, man. But y'all know me. If you guys love draft content, TikTok, y'all knew. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Drew Aller, Cade Kubnick lost a lot of money. Yeah, Cade Kubnick lost a lot of money. Drew Aller lost a lot of money this year. Because they let Mendoza and Dante Moore leap them. He didn't come out in this year's class. He went back to South Carolina, but Lenora Sellers, right? I thought Lenora Sellers would sneak up in there. He didn't. I know everyone's talking about Nick Harbor, the wide receiver. He's going back to college. We'll talk about Mekhi Lemon. That's wide receiver talk. Hey, y'all know, man. Hey, y'all are right. Y'all are in the right spot, man. I haven't gotten to HBCU yet, but I'll get there. So to be honest with you guys, I'm probably around look at my draft sheet. I'm in a spot where I still got to use my notes, right? I'm still in my note range, right? But I could probably get you. Well, if we're doing a mock draft, I could do 7 because some guys I know there. But I'm probably around round 3. I could dance a little bit. Center, yes, but if you mean better than Cooper Beebe, Mason Thomas for edge if everyone gets picked. Depends on which round. First round, nah. You do have TJ Parker. Kendrick Folk will be an edge. But now you're kind of reaching. You're kind of reaching, right? You're kind of reaching if you're going that early. Kendrick Folk is a guy that we'll have to see. Now, I mean, I know he paid Ferg, but Kenyon Sadiq, I'll go get tight end today and lose 0 sleep. I'll go get me a tight end and lose 0 sleep. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, y'all, we're going to have tons of conversation. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, CFO Sports, because this is what we're going to do all draft season, man. I am rested, man. I took a little break. You know what I'm saying? I was doing, but I knew this draft season, man, it's what I really love, and I'm ready to go. So I will drop a film session. I'll let y'all pick. Who do y'all want me to drop the film session on tomorrow? I was thinking about CJ Allen, but I'll hold off, maybe. I'll let y'all pick. Let me know in the chat. Who do y'all want draft film tomorrow? I'll let y'all pick tomorrow. I was thinking about CJ Allen. Could do Ruben Bain. I have all the film. Let's see. Bain. Got a Bain vote. Let's see here. You gonna make me go to Miami? I say now linebackers. If I do linebacker at the Sunny, it's gonna either be Anthony Hill or CJ probably next. Downs. All right, I could do that. You ain't gonna tell me twice to do downs. You know what I'm saying? Falk. Y'all all over the place, man. Y'all just need 3 or 4. Let's see. I got 2 Bains. Hill. There we go. Speaking my love language there. Let's see what Instagram's saying. What's up? Would I take Bains or Downs? Are they both available? Hell yeah, I would. If we got Bains and Downs, bro, I'm yeah. Love. Ooh. I mean, I don't want to upset anybody because those people, you know what I'm saying? Those people get mad if we say you should draft a running back. Let's see. I'm gonna go linebacker tomorrow. I think I'm gonna do CJ Allen still. Or Anthony Hill. I'll do linebacker tomorrow. Bro, I can knock these out quickly. Trey Young. Is that a basketball question? I assume. I don't know. Basketball question, right? But yo, we appreciate all of you guys, man. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me, man. I'm having a blast, like you said, man. It's a honor, right? I'm extremely blessed, humble to be able to do this. What I love, man. There are thousands and thousands of people doing this, man, and no one really cares what they got to say, man. But we got over 1,000 people who tuned in today just to hear me talk Cowboys football, NFL football, and I'll never take that for granted, man. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me, standing by me for so long, man. 6 years is crazy. I've been doing this, man, but goes ways of emotions, for everyone who's wanting to get into it. A lot of people in the new year say, you know what, Tuck, I want to start doing content. I say do it, man. I say do it. You know what I'm saying? Do it. And the most important piece is do it your way. Do it your way. Right? It's just, a lot of people want to change and mold and do things. And I can only be me, right? I can't be Law Nation, right? I can't be Vach. I can't be Mark Holmes. I can't be Sky. I can't be Rome. I can't be in DMV. I can't be Boss. I only know how to be the best J Tuck I can be, right? And I do understand sometimes I do come off brash, right? But it's nothing, I'm not doing it just to do it. I do it because this is who I am, right? I was the type of person when I played sports, I love being on the road. I hated home games, love being on the road because the hate, the miss it, the boo, I just love that, right? I love shooting a 3-pointer and the crowd saying miss and it goes to the net and you turn around and look at the crowd and say, I just love that, right? So TikTok malicious, right? I respect everybody in the community, everybody in the Cowboy space, whether we agree or disagree, right? I don't never really attack people, right? That's just not who I am. I'm not an attack person. I'm always a counter, right? Even my boxing trainer will tell you guys, he gets pissed off at me. I'm a counter puncher, right? If you throw the wrong jab or wrong punch, I'm a counter then punch, but I never really bring the fight to people, right? So, thank you guys for letting me be me, and I really appreciate you guys for letting me do that. The opportunities that's created is not just about me, because a lot of people don't understand, right? As a content creator / YouTuber, getting this is not easy. I had to fight, scratch, sacrifice, invest, right? Get lied to, manipulated, misled, spend time away from my family, miss events. I had to do a lot to get this because I wanted to prove that guys and girls coming from their basements on their YouTube channel or TikToks or Instagrams or wherever you guys might be can do this too, right? And I took that and ran with it because I knew the responsibility that I had, right? Not everyone's going to get that opportunity. Like, I mean, look at this, y'all. I've covered some amazing events, you know what I'm saying? And amazing events. And I wanted to prove like, nah, man, there's talent out here, right? So when I carry this torch, it's not just for me, it's for all of us. It's for Angry, right? It's for Lou, it's for Henny, it's for Boss, it's for DMV, it's for Aisha, it's for everybody. It might be some random person on TikTok. So you know what? I want to do, like, I'm carrying this flag for all of us, man. So, you know, when you're doing that in your front line, you're going to take a lot of bullets, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you feel like, what am I even running this race for? But it's you guys in Cowboys Nation, this community, and just content, sports general that said, nah, Tuck, man, I appreciate you. Keep running your race, man. So for you guys, I'm going to continue to carry that flag, man. So I appreciate you all. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, CFO Sports. Hit that notification, turn on that like button, and we will drop film tomorrow, and we will dive deep into the draft coverage, man. So I want everyone to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged. We're officially here, y'all. It's officially here. I tried to hold back, Cowboys Nation. I tried to sit back and chill, not talk draft, because some people were still trying to make a push for the playoffs. It's Tuck season. All my draft wizards, post wizards in the chat, it's not just going to be me this year. I am going to teach you guys how to scout prospects your damn selves. If those of you really want to, let me know. We're going to have live film sessions, right? We're going to just, you know what? Let's go to the film, watch Caleb Downs. And I'm going to let y'all come on and tell me, what do you see? Right? And we're going to do this together as a family because it's not just about me. It's about us, CFO gang. We're going to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged. Go Cowboys. Peace. This video is brought to you by Sleeper, the #1 daily fantasy sports app. And right now, Sleeper is doing something crazy, unimaginable. Yes, Sleeper right now is giving you a free $20. Yep, free. All you have to do is be a new subscriber and download Sleeper, and Sleeper will give you $20 in your account to play your daily fantasy pick. So if you want to pick Dak Prescott to go over his passing yards because he's playing at an MVP level, just use Sleeper. And also, if you want to make a deposit, use the code CFO. Sleeper will match 100% up to $100. So download Sleeper, get your free $20 to play daily fantasy sports, and also use the code CFO to get 100% up to $100 on your match. And let's go get this money, gang.